Hello everyone, welcome to Wednesday Night Live Crafting. How are we all today? Let me just see if I make sure I'm going live in the right place. Michelle Grech here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. Goodness, I had a mind blank then. I couldn't remember where I actually live. I've lived here all of my life and all of a sudden I couldn't remember. So I blog at stampmichelle.com. So for any of you that are looking for me on online, that's where you can find me. Also at Think Out Loud Paper Crafting, my business page here, which is where I'm going live tonight. Looks like we've got a few on already. Hello Michelle, hello Di, Sue. How is everybody? You all had a good day today? I must say I had a what I'd call a fairly unproductive day today. So for those of you who don't know, I actually work a regular job and Stampin' Up is my side gig. But today was, I only work part-time, so today was my day off from my regular job, and I had all of these things planned to do today, and I came into my craft room and I potted around in here most of the day, but I didn't actually really get a lot done. So do you ever have those days where you just like, you feel like you're really busy, but at the end of it, you have a look at what you did and you're sort of being really non-productive? That happens to me a lot. Hi, Carol. Yeah, look, it was just, I made a couple of cards but I had a whole list of things to do, which sort of just went out the window. I don't know what happened to the time. I actually, so I had my first in-person class for a really long time, or more than 2.5 years, last week. Goodness, I don't even know what I'm saying. Last night. So I actually had ladies over to my house last night, and we crafted away, which was really, really lovely. It was really so nice to see people in person, and that was really great. So, but I was really, a bit rusty. So even setting up, I'm sure the ladies were thinking, what was she doing? Like I forgot half the things in my, had to keep running back to my craft room to get things that I'd forgotten to bring down to the classroom. And so I spent some time this morning cleaning up from that. And my mum popped around for a little while, had a cup of tea with me this morning. I think that threw me out of whack a bit because I wasn't expecting her to come today. So, that, not that it was lovely to have her around, and it was really enjoyable to spend some time with her, just her and I. With sort of nothing planned, just having a cuppa and having a chat, but it sort of threw me out of whack. I really just, I don't think I recovered from that for the rest of the day. It sort of put me behind schedule and I didn't get as much done as I'd like. All right, so we've got a few people on now, so we can get started. So tonight I thought I would use some more of the celebration products, because celebration is going on at the moment. So July and August, so right through to the end of August is celebration. But I always feel like it goes by so quick. It's 2 months and I never actually get enough time to showcase all of the products. So, and like I'm only going live once a week, so it just doesn't give you a lot of time to showcase everything. So tonight is a sort of mismatched jumble of celebration products. So we're going to be using a couple of different things, but we're going to be featuring the Rings of Love designer series paper and the Amazing Phrasing stamp set. So this paper here is one of our level 1 celebration rewards. So you can get this free with a $90 order. And when I first saw this paper, I thought, I just wasn't sure when I saw it in the catalogue. But as we all know, sometimes it's like, it's not until you actually see the paper for real that you actually go, oh, I really, really like that. And this is one of those papers where once I saw it for real, I was like, yeah, I can see lots of potential for this. So it's actually not like it looks like it's very busy and it's quite florally, but it has, it's an all sort of seasons type of paper, and it actually has a lot of uses. So it's not sort of like, it's not Christmas paper and it's not autumn paper and it's not sort of, even though it does have a lot of flowers on it, it's sort of not for one type of event or one type of season. So let me just run through this with you. So there's this paper here which has all of these houses on it, which I really love. I love the sort of all the different shapes and the different sizes of houses and the different colours. Absolutely a dream if you're a fussy cutter like me. So you can cut out all of these houses and use them individually, or you can use just the paper as on your card. And then we have this like a florally one, which has just got a whole lot of different almost like wildflowers, I think. So it's really pretty. We have this one with the beautiful birds on it. So our not actually sure what type of birds they are. Not really up with my bird species, but really, really quite pretty. This one, which is sort of an autumn themed one, it's got your acorns and your but I really love the colors in this one. I like that muted yellow's not I'm not really big on yellow, but I really like the muted colors of that one. We have this one which I really love with all of these toadstools and lots of really bright colors, and of course this one here which would make a great Christmas paper. It's sort of got sort of light poinsettias, so that would work really well. And then, of course, on the reverse side, we have, or our B side, we have these beautiful mandalas in these muted blues and green colours. We have this one here, which is the one I'll be using tonight. So a bit of a gingham check sort of pattern there in the Poppy Parade and the Mint Macaron. One here, which is almost like a watercolor type background, would actually, looks a bit Christmassy to me, like your snow type, winter flurry type patterns. This one with the leaves, and this one with the sort of rings of wood. So this paper actually coordinates with a set that's in the mini catalogue. Probably should have said that right up, but I don't actually have the stamp set, but I think it's called Rings of Nature. So you can actually get a die that will cut out all of these wooden logs. Let me just quickly see if I can find it in the catalogue. Probably should have marked the page, but of course I wasn't that organised. That's it, there it is there. So, the elements that we've gone through in the paper, you can actually see those here in the stamp set. So our logs here, our toadstools, our houses, the poinsettia, plus some really nice sentiments. So it has a Christmas sentiment here, the Merry Christmas, has a thinking of you, a happy anniversary, which will work quite well with the houses, I think, get well soon and adjust for you. But it also coordinates, and I don't know whether you can actually see here in the camera, with these dies down here. So you actually have one big die that will actually cut out a range of these images here on this paper, plus some other dies there that will cut out, your leaves and your berries and those sorts of things. Actually, you actually see it better there in this picture here, the actual die that cuts out these images from this paper. So, but like I said, I don't have the stamp set, so I've only got the paper as a result of having qualified for a celebration item. But I like it that it's actually paper that you can use even if you don't have the stamp set. I don't feel like I actually need the stamp set because, I don't mind fussy cutting, so I can cut a lot of these images out. And then we have this one here, which has the trees, or the trees. Sort of the stems of the trees mostly, so not really leaves, just branches. All right, so that's the Rings of Love designer series paper. And then the other thing I'm going to be working with tonight is the amazing phrasing stamp set with all of these large phrases that you can pair with this. These are the smaller ones here. So large words and then a smaller different type of font. And there's absolutely heaps and heaps of things that you can pair there together, different ways that you can use them. So we're going to be using that. And also, of course, I'm going to be using the Hippest Hippos. I just can't stop using these hippos. They are just so damn cute. Yeah, I've just been constantly, I've done a lot of stamping and a lot of colouring of the hippos. Not all of them have made them onto cards yet, but we're getting there. And of course, they're a level 1 celebration item, so free with a $90 order. And then also you can pair them with these dies, which will cut out your hippos and all of the other accessories. But these are also a level 1 celebration item, so these are also free. So with a $90 order. So if you pair those two together, if your order's $180, you can get both of those. And I like the way that Stampin' Up have done it this time, in that you don't have to have, $180, that these two things aren't actually paired together, so you can actually get them separately. So I'm going to be using those as well. So lots and lots of celebration items tonight that we're going to be in the mix. Let me just put those aside. So, and we're also going to be doing a fancy fold card, surprise, surprise. So let me just bring in the card. So this is the card that I'm going to be making tonight. And this is called an Angled Tri-Fold card. So it's a card that has, obviously, you can see why it's called that. It has this angled piece at the top, and it's a tri-fold card with a belly band. So it opens up like this, and then we have our sentiment on the inside panel. And this is the belly band is what we use to keep it closed. So we're going to go ahead and I'll show you how to make that tonight. So let's get started. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm still going to use this designer series paper, but I'm actually going to swap out the colours of the card base. So this is Mint Macaron, and I'm actually going to do the card base this time in the Poppy Parade. So let me start by bringing in our card base. So I've just got a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock here. So this is 29.5 centimetres across. Now that is just a slither smaller than a full size of A4 sheet. I think A4 sheet is 29.7. So you're just cutting sort of 0.2, so 2 mils off the end, and then it's 14.9 centimetres wide. So I'm just going to bring that in my trimmer so I can show you. We're going to do some scoring. I actually have a template which I've made for this, and I'll actually be posting a link to that on my on the Facebook page after the video goes live. And when I put this project up on my blog, there'll also be a link to this template so that you can actually download it and print it off, so you've got one there for future reference. Okay, so we're going to pop this in long side into our trimmer, and I'm actually going to score it at 9.5. You can see that's a bit far away from the camera, but 9.5, and then I'm going to just extend the arm here, and I'm going to score it at 20. And because this was 29.5 wide, we have 9.5 on either side of our center panel. So that means that it's even. Okay, and then we're going to be doing some pencil marking and some cutting to get our angles. So what we're going to do is we're going to be actually from our score line here, and I don't know, well, you can see that in the camera, but we're actually going to make a pencil mark down the side of our card here at 4 centimetres. So let me just see if I can find my pencil, my favourite pencil. I love these pencils. So this is a Bic pencil. it's one of those mechanical pencils, so you can press the end and the lead comes out at the top. But what I really like about this is it fits inside the channel of my trimmer. So what I'm going to do is on the short side here, I'm going to turn it to the short side and line it up at 4 centimeters and just put a little mark there on the side. So I know that's at 4 centimeters. And then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And then across the bottom, I'm going to mark it at 2.5 centimeters. So you can either close down your trimmer and mark it through the channel, or you can just line it up. My scoring blade popped out there. You can just line it up here where the channel is and just make a little mark. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go back to on the long side where our score line is, our first score line, and I'm going to line that up in the channel with the 4 centimeter mark that we made. Just going to make sure that that's even, and then I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, and now from the point that we made here on the side where we've cut, I'm going to cut from this point down to my 2.5 centimeter mark down on the bottom there. So again, lining it up so it's even in the channel. And this time I'm going to cut up because I don't want to start on that small point there because I don't want to actually tear my cardstock. So I'm going to start here where there's just a bit more bulk, and I'm going to cut up to that point. And now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to turn it over so I'm going to do it on this side. No, that doesn't work. So I want to mark that. Oh, it's myself. I want to mark here at 4 centimeters. Yeah, so I'm going to do it on this side. 4 centimeters. Getting myself confused there. 4 centimeters on the side, and then 2.5 centimeters across the bottom. So again, this time I'm cutting from this score line down here to my my pencil mark, which is actually on this side this time. I'm going to line those up again. It is very hard for you to see in this. You can't get close enough, but once you have the template, you will actually be able to. You'll be able to see exactly all the cutting and scoring marks are on the template. And then I'm going to cut from that line down to my 2.5 centimeter one along the bottom. And again, I'm going to start up the top where the bulk is and cut down to that point. Okay, so let me just move the trimmer. We will need the trimmer again, but I'm just going to fold and burnish those score lines so that you can actually see what the finished card base looks like. So that's our card base there with our angled piece there at the top, but square at the bottom. Okay, so while I've got the trimmer out, we're just going to cut our pattern paper. So we're using this design here, and these are, let me see, so they're 10.2 centimeters by 14.6 long. And we're going to do exactly the same to these pieces as we did to our card fronts here. So we want this to go on the front of our card here. Oops. So on this front panel here. So we're going to need to make that same cut on their pattern paper as we did on our card. So when you're all still with me, I haven't lost you yet. Oh, hello, Linda from Perth. How are you going? Okay, so the best thing I found with the paper was to remember that you need to have a straight edge on the left side and the other piece you need to have a straight edge on the right side, because you want to make sure that you don't end up with two pieces that are cut the same. Okay, so in this one, we're going to come in again our 4 centimeters along the top. Okay, and we're going to mark that one because we don't have our, sorry, I'm just getting myself confused now. So we're going to go from the top of that, sorry, we're going to mark down the side here, not there. So we're going to be cutting from our straight edge down to the side. So our 4 centimeter mark needs to be along the side there. Okay, so we're going to cut from this corner down to our 4 centimeter mark. And this one we're going to be cutting down here to a 2.5 centimeter mark. So mark that at 2.5 centimeters. Line that up in our channel. And cut it. Okay, so this is going to be the piece that sits on this side. Now I found the easiest way to do the other one was to actually turn it over, because this time on this side you've got your straight edge on the left side. This time you want your straight edge on the right side. Okay, so if we come along here and we mark down here at 4 centimeters down the side. So we're going to cut from the corner to our 4 centimeter mark. There's a little bit hard to see there on that pattern paper. And then we want this one to be at 2.5 centimeters. And then once all this is done, then all, pretty much our cutting is done. So then we have our matching pair on the other side. Okay, so if you turn it over and do it the same as you did the first one, but do it on the opposite side, when you turn it back over, it's the one that will pair with the first one. And then I just cut a belly band, which is the full length of an A4 cardstock. So when you first cut down your card base, you'll have a piece left over that's about, I don't know, about that wide. So you can actually cut a strip that's 3 centimeters wide by 29.7 centimeters long. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put our pattern paper on. So I'm just going to do liquid glue for that. Hi Jeanette, how are you going? Yes, it was a little bit tricky. There's a lot of instructions there, but there'll be a template, so you'll be able to follow along with the template, and all the measurements and where you need to cut and score are all on that template. So again, the liquid glue works great because you've got that little bit of wiggle room, so you've got that just a few seconds to line that up. So how's the weather over in Perth, Linda? Is it, so it would be the afternoon there for you, wouldn't it? Be mid-afternoon? No, what's the time difference? I'm not sure what the time difference is in daylight savings. Just need a little bit of a pencil mark there I need to get rid of. Okay, so there you go. There's our card base. And so now I'm just going to do the belly band. So I'm just going to wrap that strip of cardstock around, and then I'm just going to pinch it actually, I'm going to do it from the back, I think. I'll do it from the back because I want to hide my seam. So I'm just going to pinch it gently on the side. Now you don't want it too tight that the recipient of your card can't get the belly band off. So just make sure that it's just not too tight. So pinch it, make sure that it's straight when you pinch it. Line it up on the front. And you'll notice that you've got quite a bit of excess, so I'm just going to snip that off with my scissors. So make sure that you've got some overhang from the flap underneath. Just going to snip that off. We'll just lift it up. We'll just put a little bit of liquid glue there. Oops, just a tad too much. And then we're just going to hold that there just for a second or two until it dries. So you're there till mid-September, Linda. That's really nice. You'll be coming back here when the weather starts to improve. So it's still nice and warm over there? I bet you it is. It actually hasn't been too bad here the last couple of days. It was really freezing last week, I have to say, but this week hasn't been too bad. Okay, so there's our belly band, and we've got a seam here, but that's not going to matter. We'll leave it on the front because that's actually going to be covered up here by our circle. So I've just gone ahead and cut a circle from, that's the largest circle from the Stylish Shape dies. And then this is just the next circle down, and this is just in basic white. And then we're just going to pop that on here. But first of all, we're going to go ahead and construct that before we actually stick it on. So I'm actually going to stick on my circle. Just going to use some liquid glue to do that. And then we're going to go ahead and do our stamping. Okay, so we'll just put that to the side for the moment. And I'm going to just bring in some scrap paper and my hippo. And I'm going to stamp my hippo in Memento because I'm going to be colouring him, her, whatever your gender you want your hippo to be in. I'm going to be colouring him in Stampin' Blends. So I want to actually be stamping in Memento so it doesn't bleed. Just Memento straight onto white cardstock. And then I'm going to colour with blends. So I'm actually going to be using my light and dark grey granite. And this one is the one of Stampin' Up's, so it's the skin tone range. So it actually doesn't have a colour. It's not called a particular name on the side. They're actually numbered. So this is number 1,000. So there's 10 of them going from 100 up to 1,000. And so they're sort of from light to dark, and it will cover the whole range of skin tones that you would actually want to ever colour if you're colouring people or animals or anything like that. So I've picked 1,000, which is the lightest sort of one. And I'm actually just going to colour just his sort of tummy with that. So there's sort of no light and dark like there is with our regular blends, but you can still pair them together so that you can get that light and dark sort of look. I'm actually just going to leave a little bit of white there because I'm not doing the light and dark so that we would normally do to get that light sort of patch where the light would be shining. But I don't know if you can see there, that actually looks quite harsh when you look at it. You've just left that sort of patch of white there in the middle. So I'm actually going to bring in my colour lifter, which is just a clear blend that's obviously designed to lift colour. And I'm just actually going to colour over that patch in the middle, which will actually just soften the edges and make it not look quite so harsh. So when that dries, that will actually look, it'll look much more natural. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my dark grey granite and add some colour where you would expect to see dark patches. So if you think about where the light's shining and where you would have shadow, so sort of underneath his belly there, sort of, there's sort of lines too in the stamps there, which will help you do that. Then I'm going to come back in with my light one, and I'm just going to blend out those dark highlights. So you just want to make sure that you really blend those where those two colours meet. I like to use the bullet tip end of my blend. There's a brusher end on the other end, which is good if you're doing large areas. But I just find I prefer, and it's really just a matter of preference, I think, really. I just prefer to use the bullet tip. You will actually find too that if you use your bullet tip more often, that your blends will last longer, I think, than if you use the brush tip end all the time. But the brush tip can be really handy because it has quite a point on the end. If you want to get into really small spaces, the brush tip can be really handy too. And I'm going to use my light one, and I'll probably use the brush tip end here just to do the this bit here. I don't know, is it a snout? Is that what you call it? I don't know. His face. That will sort of give us a lighter colour here. And I'm going to colour the whole lot, but I'm going to go back with my colour lifter, and I'm going to do similar to what I did here, but I didn't leave a patch there. I'm just going to go back with my colour lifter, and I'm just going to sort of just go over this area here, and it's sort of going to lift the colour and make that sort of lighter. Now when you first do it, it looks quite patchy, but when it actually dries, you'll find that that will actually soften around the edges. Just bring back in my my pinky one, do his toes, and there you go. That's our cute little hippo. So of course that has coordinating dies. So I'm just going to get the coordinating die for that. I'm just going to pop over to my die cutting machine, and I just got it just off to the side here tonight. So I'm just going to cut that out. And there's it, hippo. And then while I was there, I've just gone ahead and used one of the little dies to cut a party hat for my my hippo. Oh, Linda, that's such good news. So if I remember correctly, her Lisa's first child was a boy, so now she has a girl, a pigeon pair. That's lovely. And pass on my best to her when you speak to her, Linda. That's so exciting. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in a little bit of liquid glue just to pop up the top here to stick on my party hat. All right. And then last we're going to stamp the amazing phrases. I'm going to be stamping the woohoo. Amazing phrasing is actually not phrases. Amazing phrasing is the actual name of the stamp set. Just let me get myself a block. Okay. So the trick for mounting photopolymer stamps is to actually put the stamp, sort of the stamping side down, so as if you were stamping it, and then just pick it up with your block. Because they're photopolymer, you can actually stretch them if you try and put them on your block sort of with your hands, and so that will actually have them out of shape then. So that's the easiest way to do it, is to just pick it up off your work surface onto your block. And I'm actually going to stamp in Poppy Parade. Do a bit more ink on it, I think. This one's a bit tight, a bit tricky to close that ink pad. And then I'm just going to fussy cut around this. And it's pretty easy. It's a big word, not too many small bits. So I'm going to cut it into two separate words. Let me just cut that off. I mean, if you wanted to, you could leave it square and just cut it straight. I'm just going to prefer that fussy cut sort of look, following the line of the words. But you know, not everybody likes fussy cutting, so if you don't, you can just cut it straight. And of course, because you're fussy cutting, if you don't like that exclamation mark on the end, you can cut that off too. All right, so I'm just going to bring back in our circle here. And I'm going to put some... Am I not surprised, Carol, that you're going to leave it square? No fussy cutting for you. It's, of course, like I said, it's a matter of personal choice. You either like it or you don't. I actually find it quite relaxing. You can sit in front of the TV and fussy cut. I'd happily cut that full sheet of... where did that go? Well, I'd lost my word. That sheet that had all of the houses on it, I'd happily sit down while I was watching TV and fussy cut those all. So I often have like piles of images that I've fussy cut sitting around in containers on my desk that are ready to put onto cards. We'll just put some dimensionals here on the back of a hippo. Okay, so I'm just going to pop him off to the side. To the side here. Oops. Do our woo before our who. So I'm just going to pop that so it's just a little bit underneath the hippo. Let's tuck it under there just a little bit. Okay. And then we're just going to bring back in our card. And we'll put some liquid glue here right in the center of our belly band. And then just pop our, just move that down a little bit, our circle on there. And then just hold it there just for a second or two, just so that it, just until it dries. Just a little bit of pressure. You could actually put it up on dimensionals if you wanted to, but I thought that because our images here are already up on dimensionals, there's probably enough height already in this card without adding more behind your circle there. Okay, so now we're just going to finish off our inside. Let's just slip that off. So I've just got a piece of basic white here that is 10.2 by 14.6. And I'm just going to take one of the pieces of pattern paper that we cut off our DSP from the front. I'm just going to add that there to the bottom of the inside panel, just for a bit of interest. And it's such pretty paper, we don't want it to go to waste, right? Never throw away little bits of paper. You just never know what you might be able to do with them. Okay, so you might just have a little tiny bit there that you just need to snip off the end, just a tiny little slither. And then I'm actually going to be stamping I've already mounted these on the block, so to another year around the sun. So this is going to be a birthday card. And I actually just mounted both. They're two separate stamps, but I've just mounted them together on my block so that I can stamp them in one go. But you could certainly have them separately if you wanted to have them closer together than I've actually got them here. I really like the font on those smaller sentiments. I think they it's a really fun, playful sort of font. Where's the bling? Who's saying where's the bling? Carol. Well, there actually is a little bit of bling, and I'm going to do that when the card is complete and all together. So yes, I know that everyone's always looking for the bling because you know how much I love my bling. Well, maybe that was not quite the right size, that one. I might have cut that a little bit shorter than, I might actually just push it up a bit there because you can see this bit when the cards open or close, sorry, but you can't see this bit. So obviously when I cut that, I must have cut that a bit short, but you're not going to see that when it's closed, but you will see this bit up the top here. So it's better to line this one up and have this one up a bit high. But, you know, if I'd been smart and cut it the right size, then I wouldn't have had that problem. Let me see, what size did I cut that? Yeah, so I'm just a tad short there. Never mind, should be right. So we'll close that up, put our belly band back on. So you want it obviously tight enough so that so it keeps your card closed and it doesn't slip down when your card's up, but you don't want it so tight that the recipient can't get it off. And then we're just going to add just a tiny little bit of bling. If I can find what I did with my bling. And I'm actually just going to be using just plain regular rhinestones here. And I'm just going to use one of the little ones. I'm just going to pop one just on the top of the party hat there. And I think that this card's got enough going on already. It doesn't really need any more bling than that, but just enough to give it that little bit of sparkle. So there you go. There's our tri-fold, angled tri-fold card. So tri-fold because it has 3 panels, and angled obviously because of that angled cut at the top there. And there's the card in the 2 different colorways. So you are shouting at me, Carol. And I wouldn't have forgotten the bling, you know me. So there you go. I hope you all enjoyed that card, and that gives you some more ideas to use your celebration items. And would make, look, I think it would make a great card for, would make a great card for a child, but it would also make a great card for an adult as well. And there are 3 of the different hippos that you've got in the set. So you have this one here, the ballerina one, that would look really cute. There's a little umbrella that is in the die set, so you could cut an umbrella for her to hang on to there. There are lots of other little elements, the sunglasses and those sorts of things. So depending on what paper you pair it with, there are lots of different options for you to make the card, suitable for the recipient. So hope you all enjoyed that. I don't really have a lot other news to share with you tonight. The details for August's class, which is the what is the August class? August class is the Gingham Cottage bundle. So let me just bring that up for you, and the details for that will be up tonight after the class, so a little bit later tonight. You might not see them till the morning. So it's this suite here. I think I talked a little bit about that last week. So we'll be using both the stamp set and dies and the coordinating gingham paper. So there'll be both a Zoom online and an in-person option for that. So the online, there's actually a Zoom class to coordinate with the online. So you get the PDF and the video tutorials, but you also get an option to come to an online Zoom where we put the cards together, or there's an in-person version here at my place. So, and that will be late August. So I think the 23rd of August, Tuesday the 23rd of August in the evening is the in-person class, and Thursday, the 25th of August, is the online Zoom version. So the details for that will be up on my page here and on my blog later tonight. So if you're interested in that, you can, all the details will be there for you to register for that. And that's it. I think that's for me tonight. Hope you all enjoyed my cards, and that you'll give this fold a go. I'd love to see what you make if you do. And I will see you all again next Wednesday, same time, same place. Have a great week, everybody. Stay healthy and safe, and I'll see you all again next week. Okay? Bye-bye.